This week, we got to see a brand new release, 40 years in the making or whatever. But this is the brand new reboot / sequel-ish of Ghostbusters Afterlife, directed by Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman's son, which I think is a really nice little tie-in to the original. Yes. Do you want me to give a little setup? That was a brilliant introduction, wasn't it?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. Okay, so set in present day, a single mom and her 2 kids arrive in a small town. They begin to discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy their grandfather left behind. So yeah, 2 kids move to a new town. The grandfather dies at the very beginning of the film. That's no spoiler, but leaves them his farmhouse. They move to this kind of town in the middle of nowhere in America and kind of figure out he obviously there's a connection to the Ghostbusters and they have to kind of take on the mantle to save this town and maybe the world. What do you think, Greg? Maybe the world.
Maybe the world, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
First of all, I've got some things to say about it, right? What thumb up or down for the film, Greg? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I think you're not going to like it.
Oh, do you know? Like, I'd be lying. No. I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
I had an enjoyable time in the cinema.
Right.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. That's despite it being complete naff.
It wasn't.
Yeah, but anyway, you go on, do your bit, and then
okay.
I'm making my notes now. I've just realised I've not made any notes. So whilst you're talking,
right.
I'm making mine. I'm thinking about my notes. Yeah.
Okay. I loved it because, and this is just it did exactly what it needed to do. Complete fan service and hit every single note to appease all the fans. And I'm a fan. Great. Fantastic. And I fell for every single little bit in there. The John Williams-esque music, the Spielbergian, Amblin style landscapes and action adventure, all of the bloody callbacks to the original. I get it. It's not kind of breaking any new ground. It's not winning any Oscars. But I walked out and went, I absolutely bloody love that film. And there's a lot of reasons why as well. Okay, so obviously it's targeting a younger audience, but it still, for me, captures that kind of essence of the original film. That kind of wide-eyed dreamers who are completely in over their head. As I said, it felt like a kind of it was far more kind of a Spielbergy film than the original. What was kind of missing a little bit was the kind of griminess of the original Ghostbusters. The beauty of Ghostbusters was that they were essentially pest control in New York, but it was for paranormal. Everything, they were a bit naff at it. Everything was a bit crap. Everything was a bit broken. And that kind of translates a little bit to the new film in terms of everything's a bit crap and broken because it's all old, but everything was a little bit shiny, which, okay, I wasn't 100% on board with that, but whatever. Yeah. I liked the cast. McKenna Grace I thought she was absolutely brilliant in the lead role, and I can't remember her name now, the main character, but she was perfect. She's got this kind of cold heart that and struggles with that intimacy, but finds herself and a passion in kind of science and her relationship with her estranged grandfather. I think that was really nice. Finn Wolfface, whatever he's called, from Stranger Things. He was good as this kind of horny teenager. I quite liked that he wasn't the lead, because I think that would have been the easy thing to do. Let's get the teenage girls in by getting the kid from Stranger Things in. And I think that was actually the right choice not to have him as the lead. But I loved him as this horny teenager struggling with like puberty in this new town. Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd, fantastic. What's not to like there? Carrie Coons, she kind of did. I felt like she did what she could in that role, but actually, there was stuff missing that could have been in there to do with her relationship with her dad, who we won't say who her dad is.
It's pretty obvious
there was
from the very first
obvious
scene.
from the beginning. But there was definitely things missing there. But whatever it was, some funny little like cameos, I suppose. J.K. Simmons pops up for like two seconds in a really odd role, and Olivia Wilde, which is another link to a Movie Trains. Did you notice Olivia Wilde in the film, Greg? She was the baddie.
Was that Olivia Wilde?
That was Olivia Wilde. Very strange. Very strange.
Okay,
with that all being said, it 100% jumps the shark at the end. There's again, I'm not going to give away spoilers, but there's a particular thing that they do at the end.
Yes.
And I felt like if they just did it for 20 seconds, there's one particular shot where there's a bit of a reveal, and I was like, oh, yes, amazing. Yes. I actually got a little bit teary. I really love Ghostbusters. It means quite a lot to me. But then they just kept doing this thing, and I'm like, okay, fine. We didn't actually need all that. It was a little bit kind of heavy-handed, that sort of stuff. Yeah. But as I say, it did what it needed to do for me. Me and Lever bloody loved it. We went on Sunday morning to watch it. What do you think?
I'll open up by reiterating, like, I enjoyed myself in the cinema, so like that comes with that sort of disclaimer. Like, I went there and I had fun, and I switched off after a stressful day of work on Monday night.
Yeah,
I went to the cinema and it did the job. I forgot about all my stresses of work, and I sat, and that sort of couple of hours sort of went by nicely, and I had a very good time. Yes. So, and that's, as you said, that's what cinema is ultimately for. Now, what I'm about to say next is going to make some people go, what? I can't believe you've not seen it. Right. Ghostbusters, I never saw it as a kid. It came out in 1984. I was born in 1988. It just wasn't any reason for me to go back and see it. Like, I was very aware of it. I was very aware of the theme song more than anything. It was a sort of a rounding culture, but it wasn't something I ever went back and saw. So Saturday morning, I went back and watched the original. There's one of them where it's like, big thing about Ghostbusters. I watched it and I was like, yeah, fine. I can appreciate it for what it was, but it's one of them. I'm sure you sort of like had to be there. Bill Murray, fantastic in it. There's a lot to be liked about it. So I went into this having done that as my sort of homework. I've not seen Ghostbusters 2, and I've not seen the reboot from 2016, a few years ago, which by all accounts wasn't particularly great. Okay. So first thing I'm going to pick up on as a sort of negative is like Finn Wolfhard. You can see exactly what they've done there. It's like a committee sitting around going, right, we need to give this a real sort of retro 80s vibe to take all the fans back to the 80s. So why don't we get the kid from Stranger Things to be in it? and all these little things. I mean, the way it was shot, and there was just some like really obvious stuff they were crowbarring in to give that sort of nostalgic feel to it. And I almost felt like they were trying. That they were heavily influenced by Stranger, and in fact, Stranger Things brilliant. I really enjoy Stranger Things, but they were sort of, for me, overdoing the nostalgia and the trying to give that 80s aesthetic, and it didn't feel organic to me really. With that, there's a moment, when the first Star Wars reboot, the latest trilogy came out. What was the first one called?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, right? Okay. There was a moment when even I, not as a big Star Wars fan, when they revealed that bit of the Falcon that was under it was under a big thing, wasn't it? And even I went, "Whoa, that's mint!" That's, like, I got a bit excited about it. Like, I can't believe they've done that. In this, they've done that, but then they've done it again, and they've done it again, and they've done it again, and they've done it again. So, like, what's that? Here's a ghost trap. Here's one of the thingy handheld things that they go around with and everything like that. Here's the advert that they did in the original Ghostbusters film. Yeah. And there's so many of these like references, which like, I get it. Like you're trying to please the fans, and if the brief was to go out and just completely appeal to Ghostbusters fans, fine, they've achieved it. But it's, for me, probably because I'm not like an out-and-out Ghostbusters fan, I'm just sat there going, yeah, there's another one. Yeah, there's another one.
It's probably as well with the, when they do the reveal of the Ecto one or whatever. Yeah. It's crap. That's kind of the point. It's not a particularly like, overwhelming thing. Whereas like you see the Millennium Falcon, you're like, oh yeah, the Millennium Falcon. You see that and it's like, yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
still pretty shit.
And now you're opening up a cabinet, and there are 4 jumpsuits in there. And, And they all fit you kids as well, so that's pretty impressive.
I thought that.
One weird thing was, from what I understood from the first film, it's in the middle of New York. There's this huge event that goes on in New York, right next to Central Park. This huge sort of like tower block. There's film crew. You actually see on the film, from what I understand, what I remember, film crews there. It's an event. There's crowds of people there waiting to meet them all as they pull up. But in this film, they are referred to as like a myth. Like, have you heard the thing about the ghost stories from the 80s in New York? Oh yeah, I heard something about that. And it's like, it was a huge thing in this universe. Like, how are you missing that? I didn't really. I don't know whether I've missed something from the second film, but this isn't a spoiler because they're in the trailer. You know, the little marshmallow men, and obviously, like, you've got the giant marshmallow man in the first one.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, Paul Rudd, and this is all in the trailer, literally all in the trailer. Paul Rudd's in the supermarket and he sees there's a pack of these, what they call those marshmallows,
Stay Puffed
marshmallows, and they all start coming to life in the thing. I didn't understand why, other than there was this awakening of this godly, ghostly thing in the area. Okay, so that sort of felt a bit sort of crowbarred in as well. A big thing that bugged me is whenever you get. Well, not whenever, but when I think it's lazy character development in these sort of films where they make a kid that's into science, and they always have to be like Sheldon, like massively on the spectrum, sort of like, you know what I mean, like really like over the top, sort of like really geeky, and it's just like, scientists don't have to be these really uncool dogs.
Science is cool. No, it's not, Greg.
And
you should play football.
I will end with one sort of cryptic comment, and it alluded to what you said before. They absolutely overdid that thing.
Yes,
and presumably, and it's like the Carrie Fisher thing.
Yeah.
But too much. And it's like, we've done this now. We've gone to the effort of making this happen. So you're going to see it, and then you're going to see it again, and then we're going to hang on it again.
Yeah.
And they're just going to nod. And okay, there you go.
Okay, then fair enough. Well, you're a Scrooge. I'm joking.
Having said all that, no, I'm watching this and thinking all these things and saying, I'm thinking, like, whilst all this is true and everything I've just said is true, despite all that, I enjoyed it. And I think that just goes to show, like, there's trash and there's total trash and there's like trash that, like, this is awful and I can't watch this. But this was watchable trash. And, like, for me, I was just like, I'm enjoying this. It's fine. Yeah. I mean, I understand what it is, but that's fine.
Well, and exactly. And my thing at the beginning was like, I know I fell for every single, trap that it did, every single marketing material, all, but I'm the target audience, and of course I was going to go in and be like, sucker punch me, it's absolutely fine. You know what I mean? It's not groundbreaking, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Would you say, Gregory, that this film, Ghostbusters Afterlife, is God, I need to write some more of these, I'm nearly out, Top Gun or Hit and Run? And I actually can't even remember what Hit and Run is. I wrote that one a very long time ago.
I'm going to, right, when we do this after every film, I'm going to give myself a rule, really.
Ooh.
I'll go for the positive end if I will watch this film again.
Yes.
And I'll go for the negative end if I wouldn't.
Okay.
And do you know what? I'd give it another watch.
Hey. So Top Gun. Me too. Where can we see Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Ghostbusters Afterlife is available in cinemas now.